All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining today's Downtown Tempe Streetscape Improvement Meeting. This is the November Merchants Meeting. We continue these every second Tuesday at 2 p.m. virtually, and this is for the project. So I'll give it to Joshua Werner at City of Tempe to go through the project.
Thanks, Morgan. So my name's Josh. I'm the construction project coordinator with the City of Tempe for the project. For those of you who have not met me yet, just a quick project overview and some progress that we have at this point in time. Go ahead and go to the next slide. We've been doing the sidewalk and ADA improvements from University to 7th Street. As you can see, we're trying to expand some of the pedestrian space with new pavers and some historic markers, and just do a lot of infrastructure upgrades to the electrical and irrigation with the city. One of the things that has been added to the project since we've started, and we've tried to keep the schedule, have been new light pole foundations. We found that once we started removing stuff, there was some significant corrosion. So it was a good catch by our team, and we were able to get it while we were in the construction process, so we don't have to come back and do any additional work. We are also adding new bus shelters, and we do have a new tree pile that the city has that as we're going through, we're going to keep some trees, but there's going to be the new tree palette will be introduced throughout this project. Next slide. So the project area at this point in time is just from University to 6th. We are in the process of installing pavers between 7th and University, and we will continue to do that until we're able to switch our construction to the interior side of the sidewalk, which will be happening here shortly. For phase 1, the intersection of Mill Avenue, University Drive, that's complete. We've been monitoring the situation there with the adjustments with some of the striping, and everything seems to be working out well. We did the upgrades to the traffic signal infrastructure, the sidewalk ramps, and just worked on the ADA and just traffic flow, pedestrian flow as well. As you can see here, phase 2, you can see some of the pavers that are being installed as we speak. There's some of the it's not so weathered. We have basically orthorectified edges in regards to this with the pavers. It's not can't think of the terminology. Casey is
non-tumbled.
Non-tumbled. Yes. Non-tumbled. Yep. Thank you. That was the terminology I was looking for. As you can see, it really kind of livens up the area there and really starting to pull the project together. Casey, do you want to go ahead and take on phase 3 and then move forward?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you can see here, this is kind of how we're progressing north on the project. We're building the outside portion of the sidewalk and managing pedestrian access on the inside portion. So this is actually looking south from 6th Street, south towards 7th Street. As you can see, we've begun the demo on the existing sidewalk pavers and base that was underneath those pavers. We've begun grading that area so that we meet ADA. And we're also installing some electrical upgrades through there. On the left side of this picture, it's kind of hard to see, but there's conduit that's actually right against the existing curb line. That's where the utility upgrades are going to be installed on this project, in a 2-foot utility band just off the curb there. And this is actually just north of University Drive. These are the concrete bands that are getting installed. These delineate the sidewalk ramp pavers from, in this picture, it's actually old pavers, but there'll be new pavers that get installed through here. Those concrete bands delineate the paver styles, and then they also delineate the patios and buildings. So those will be something that you'll see as we keep working our way north on the project. So now I'll run through kind of a high-level schedule. As many of you already know, phase one began in the early summer, and we actually finished on August 7th. That included the improvements at the University Drive intersection. Phase two is just north of the intersection up to 7th Street, just before the actual sidewalk ramps in that intersection. We've begun that on August 26th, and we're working our way through that right now. We've got actually the first new pavers that got installed there towards the end of last week on the outside portion of the sidewalk. So we're installing those now, and we'll keep working. We'll start on the inside portions toward the end of this month and have all of that wrapped up by February of 25. Phase three began here about a month ago. This is from 7th Street up to 6th Street. Similar construction method. We're working on the outside portions of the sidewalk right now, completing that before we'll flop and start doing the inside and have pedestrian access on the outside of the sidewalk. Overall schedule, we're still tracking for fall of 2026 being totally completed. Hope to be done before that, but that's the end goal right now, is fall 2026. So project work hours right now for the sidewalk construction that we're completing on the outside portions of the sidewalk. And when I say outside, this is towards the existing curb. Right now we're working 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. Work that's being completed within the roadway. This includes the storm drain work, which you can see in this picture right here. It's actually in the roadway outside of the sidewalk. So that work is primarily being completed at nighttime from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. That's also Monday through Friday. And then, as I said before, we'll actually start working on the inside of the sidewalks once we've got those outside portions completed. And we anticipate that work happening at night, just because of the businesses throughout there, the hours, and kind of managing the schedule so that we're minimizing the impact to the businesses as much as possible. We're still working on exactly what those hours are going to be, but we do foresee that happening at night. Allie, did you want to talk through this one?
Yeah, I can definitely talk through this one. So events and information that we have coming up that is going to be helpful to know about pretty soon here. Just despite all the construction and the tightness of everything in those downtown streets, we're still having our regularly scheduled events for the holiday season. So that is the holiday street parade and tree lighting on November 29th, the day after Thanksgiving. And we have some road closures. These will be the normal road closures that that have been going on year to year. So there's no new surprises for the street parade. Roads will close around noon, and they'll open back up around 10 p.m. On that day. The parade starts at 6 p.m. and the entire event ends around 8 p.m. But those roads again will close at noon on that day. There is extra pedestrian control on that we're going to be staging, like security and extra personnel on the west side of the street between 6th and 7th Streets on Millen Avenue, just because it will get pretty tight and we'll need to make sure that people aren't just standing there and watching the parade from those areas, because it will be too tight for the conditions there. So just a reminder to coordinate any deliveries to arrive before those roads close around noon on that day, because they won't be able to get through, and not all of them are able to wheel their inventory into your store. That's all for street parade and tree lighting, but we still have the Tempe Festival of the Arts, which is happening the first full weekend of December, so that is December 6th through 8th. Their roads will be closed, however, starting on December 5th. That is a Thursday. So roads will close south of 5th Street starting at 7 a.m. on that Thursday. This is earlier than usual. This is different than years prior, just because of how tight the space is and worried about the safety of everybody loading in and loading out on those days. We just want to make sure that because there's limited spacing and those sidewalks are taken up and there's a lot of extra equipment and fences and pokey things all over, we want to make sure that everybody is safe when they're setting up for this event. So those roads will be closed a little bit earlier than usual, but the event hours of Tempe Festival of the Arts will stay the same. So that will be from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Friday and Saturday, and on Sunday, it'll be 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. actually, which is a little bit earlier than usual for this year. We're trying that out. Something that we got feedback from the artists on. And then deliveries during the festival are even more intense than they are during the street parade because the roads will be closed for multiple days. But we do allow, or we're able to have, the only way that you're going to be able to get your deliveries in will be at night. So from the hours of approximately 11 p.m. to 8:30 a.m. in the morning, all vehicles and all delivery trucks have to be out by 9 a.m. outside of the event footprint, which is all the highlighted blue, green, red, and yellow on that map there. And then the delivery entrance will only be at 5th Street where it meets Ash Avenue, because that is the only place that deliveries will fit most of the time to come into the footprint. And this is just a draft, this map over here. We're still working out a few things, making sure that the new traffic plan for this event, because it is different from the years before, and we're changing some times up, we're just making sure that it works with traffic control and that everything can go smoothly. So this is just a draft, but a actual map with real times will be sent around to everybody before we get too close. So hopefully in the next week or two. But if you do have any questions, if any delivery goes rogue and does show up during event hours, just be sure you can text, call me. My cell phone number is down there. And we can try to get all of your inventory in or figure out the best time for them to come in. I believe that's everything for Tempe Festival of the Arts. And then just a few touch points here. I'll just continue on some more things that we found as we've been doing this construction, that a few extra safety measures were needed for a few of the areas in that shallow block, or that, I guess, tight block between 6th and 7th Street. So a few different gateways and metal plates have been put out in the mid-block areas to allow access during the night in case there's any emergencies for safety in those areas. And then we have also placed around, we've bagged some meters. There'll be green bags over those meters, and that will be short-term food retail pickups. And there's 4 spots that have been set aside for those. So those will be on the off streets off of Mill Avenue, but as close as we could get to the street, just so everybody's still able to do their food deliveries and quick little retail pickups if those apply as well. And then we're just keeping up with our regularly scheduled communication, weekly newsletter. I'm doing my best to get those out in the middle of the week, but sometimes it does drag into the end of the week. So apologize if it gets a little nail-bitingly close to the events of the weekend. I'm going to try to keep up on that to be in the middle of the week. But if you have any specific questions or concerns, one-on-one meetings that you'd like to have with Downtown Tempe, with me, or with the construction team, or the city of Tempe, whoever we can direct you to, we'll figure out who the best person is for your concern, and we'll just work around what you have going on. But I'll be sending out weekly informational updates in that newsletter that I send out, as well as these monthly ones, just to accompany those and make sure that everybody has the most up-to-date information. key project contacts. If there's anybody on here that you don't have, sure what else to say about this slide. Then if someone else wants to pick up where I'm leaving off right here, talk about the next steps.
So yeah,
So
I think-
we'll have, go ahead.
ahead,
I'll get
Josh.
it. Oh, yeah, I'll get it, Casey. So we'll have, our next steps is we'll continue to have ongoing dialogue with the businesses and merchants, just because we are going to start doing the construction closer to the buildings. So we want to address that on an individual basis to make sure everybody understands the plan. There will be some careful coordination. It's going to be the same. We'll meet and discuss the business access during that patio work or work next to the patios, and just try to make sure that we impact the businesses as least as possible. Just to keep you updated on when our next meetings are, our virtual meetings are every second Tuesday at 2 p.m., December 10th, January 14th, February 11th, and March 11th. Are there any questions?
I think we're good. I think that concludes today's meeting. Like we said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the project team. And thank you everybody for joining.